Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. It's Diego, your international video producer here in beautiful Colombia, South America. Now, this video is about second chance K1 visa. Okay? So in the past, you got married to the love of your life. You went through the K1 visa process, you brought him or her to the United States, and you got married within 90 days, and everybody was happy. And then, as time passed, your fiance or now wife decided he or she doesn't like living in the United States, or is missing mom, missing her friends, wants to go back home to her home country. You brought a person here from a foreign country that doesn't know how to drive, and you're trying to teach him or her how to drive when they're used to buses and taxis. And this person doesn't want to learn how to drive, and the marriage does not hold up and goes into a free fall, and you decide to get a divorce. Okay, stuff happens. Stuff happens. I'm sorry if that has happened to you, but no pity parties, ladies and gentlemen. No pity parties. Life is too short to be crying over spilt milk. It didn't work out. So there's some good news. If you decide you want to go back to this beautiful country where you met your first wife or husband, you have a second chance. A second chance at another K1 visa. But you only get 2 shots at this. I don't think you would want to go through it a third time, I'm sure. But you get 2 chances. If you decide on a third time, ladies and gentlemen, you have to get a waiver and a mother may I letter from USCIS. But you get divorced, either here or he flies back to her home country. And if you're married to somebody and you don't get divorced in this country, the United States, and that person goes back to her home country or his home country, then you have to get her served or him served through an attorney in that person's country. Make sure you find an attorney that is accredited with the U.S. State Department and who's not going to rip you off. Okay? It's bad enough you're having to go through a divorce, and it would be doubly bad if you get ripped off by the attorney that's trying to find your soon-to-be ex-wife or ex-husband. Okay? So, you get 2 chances at a K1 visa. Now remember this, folks. When you sign the adjustment of status on your first K1 visa, you are guaranteeing to the U.S. government that you are going to take care of and you're going to support that person whether you are married to them or whether you get a divorce from them. If that person you are married to from a foreign country and you get a divorce, and they do not leave the United States, they stay in the United States, you are still responsible for them even though you are divorced. So if you decide once your divorce is over and you get divorce papers in your hand and you want to get married to a foreign national again and go through this whole process again, when you fill out your K1 paperwork, you have to include that person that you were married to in the past and her children or his children on your Form I-129F. And you have to include that on the I-134 financial document because you are still financially responsible for these people even though you're divorced. And let's suppose you went through a very nice, tidy divorce and the judge let you go your way and she went or he went her way with no alimony and no nothing. You still have to include this person on your next second visa package, except in 3 instances. Number 1, the person that you were married to returned back to their home country. Okay, you were married to a person from Ecuador, it didn't work out, and that person returned back to Ecuador. Then that person is no longer your dependent. You are no longer responsible financially for that person, divorced or otherwise. If the person you were married to has been in the United States for 10 years and they've accumulated 10 years worth of work credits with the Social Security Administration, then your financial obligation to that person is terminated with the U.S. government. Okay? Or the third instance is if that person becomes an American citizen You know, you get married, you're together a couple of years. He or she goes from a 2-year green card to a 10-year green card. You get divorced. Okay, no pity party. Then that person becomes a U.S. citizen. You are no longer responsible financially to the U.S. government for that person's financial support. But you go back to the country where you met your first wife or husband. You find this beautiful woman, beautiful husband, beautiful future husband. You divorced from your first wife or husband. When you fill out your immigration documents, you must tell immigration that you have been through a K-1 process before, that you have filed a petition before, and if you have any documentation like a visa approval, letter of notification, anything, the copy of the K-1 visa, if you got any documentation from the past, include it in your second K-1 visa. Okay? Include it. Do not hide just because you're divorced from this person does not terminate your responsibility to the U.S. government for the financial support of this person, except in the instances I told you about. Okay? Now, I'm sorry if you didn't quite make it on the first go around, but you get a second chance. You get a second opportunity to go through a K-1 visa process, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure when you fill out your second I-129F and your second I-134 financial affidavit of support that you tell immigration the exact circumstances with a letter and with evidence, copies of the past visas, copies of the past letters of notification. Now, you also have to listen to this very carefully. If you've been divorced for a year and the visa process was only a year old, okay, immigration will not permit you a second K-1 visa until the last time you applied for a K-1 visa over 2 years have passed. 2 years have to have passed. So if you got a K-1 visa approved in 2020, you cannot marry somebody else in 2021 with a second K-1 visa because you got a quick divorce or an annulment or whatever. You have to wait 2 years. Okay? But the good news is the time will pass quickly. Don't have a pity party. Life is short to be too sad and to be unhappy. Keep on keeping on. If it doesn't work out the first time, give it a second shot. And if it doesn't work out the second time, you have to get a letter and a waiver from immigration to do a third K-1 visa. I hope this information was helpful to you, ladies and gentlemen, and I will see you in Colombia.